maybe I should get more of it. You know.
Well, call it whatever, but when I lived out there, you definitely could tell the native Kansans from the new people, I guess.
Because the natives go up on their porch when the warnings go off.
I guess.
They get in their car and drive after the tornado or something.
Man, I mean, the sirens were going off when I was out there one time. Yeah. And people were just walking out to their cars and leaving the gymnasium.
Yeah.
The school, marked fallout shelter.
Yeah, sure.
They actually had we were at a choir, band, whatever, middle school rehearsal, and the principal came on and said, "Everybody, we're going to have to go down to the shelter. The sirens are going off."
Yeah.
And everybody kind of, moseyed, along to go.
Yeah, sure.
And I'm like, "Let's go,"
Yeah, it's funny.
But yeah, it was eye-opening to me.
Yeah.
And then we got in the car and we just started driving right towards the funnel cloud. Didn't even know it.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, we lived.
Yes, here you are.
Yeah. So when you left Kansas, is that when you went to college?
Well, actually, I've traveled around quite a bit. So I went to college in Kansas State University. I graduated from there, and then I lived in Iowa. I did some school in Iowa at the University of Iowa, and I've kind of moved around. So this is my second time living in Pennsylvania. I lived in Meadville, Pennsylvania, up the road from Pittsburgh a little ways, and then I actually, in between Meadville and Pittsburgh, I lived in San Francisco. So
wow.
Yeah. So it's quite
You are the troubadour.
That's right.
That kind of road thing going on.
Yeah.
Huh? Yeah. It's interesting how life takes you places.
Absolutely.
So what brought you here to Pittsburgh?
I work at the University of Pittsburgh.
Oh,
so,
wow.
So that's I teach in the communication department there. So that's one of the big things. And the other thing was just Pittsburgh. When I lived in Meadville, I spent a lot of time here, and I always really liked Pittsburgh. It seemed like a nice medium between a big city and small town. It's kind of in one location. So I always really like that. Like things I like about growing up in a small town in Kansas, but also some of the reasons I don't live in a small town in Kansas anymore. I kind of get those things in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I live around a lot of places, and I kind of have a love-hate relationship, somewhat, with Pittsburgh. I love it, but the reason that I ended up moving away was the economic. I came out of high school right in the early '80s.
Yeah,
and that's when all the steel jobs were drying up, and
sure.
It's like the economy out there right now is just catching up to where where Pittsburgh was in the '80s.
Yes, sir.
Everything just dried up, and so that took me a lot of places, just basically looking for work.
Sure.
Trying to make money, and I've moved away and back a number of times, and I like being here because my family's here and all that kind of stuff. It is a pretty cool. Musically, it's I don't know. We'll talk about that in the next segment. So, what do you want to play for us now?
Well, I'll just talk about moving. Just maybe think I'll play a song. This is called Navigation. This is also a long, long way. About a mile east of Nebraska, lightning lights those waves of green. If you're not sure what you're after, you never find it in the rain. I'm driving slow on Highway 80, a little nervous at the wheel. There's raindrops on my window. No, I'm not a man of steel. Oh, it's easy navigation when you're headed straight out west. I won't sleep in your arms tonight, but girl, I'll do my best. Driving through Wyoming, fried chicken in my lap, steel belts humming on the highway. I wipe my hands on a Texaco road map. I'm off to California. I'm gonna see that golden door. If you got some do-re-mi, son, they got what you want. They got more and more and more and more. And it's easy navigation when your head is straight out west. I won't sleep in your arms tonight, but girl, I'll do my best. I've been to Mississippi, driven across Lake Pontchartrain. I lived in Pennsylvania, lost myself in the long Lake Erie. Never seen Montana, but I hear it's awful nice. Some bodies just keep moving, 'cause nothing's ever brand new twice. And it's easy navigation when your head is straight out west. I won't sleep in your arms tonight, but girl, I'll do my best. Girl, I'll do my best.
All right. In case you just joined us, you're listening to Acoustic Songs Live. And it's Brent Malin here.
We're getting really close.
Malin.
Malin. Yeah, there you go.
Brent Malin. Brent Malin. I say it 6 times. So, hey, I'm looking at your, reading over your bio a little bit, and you said you spent some time in Iowa City.
I did.
Yeah, I see that Greg Brown, Bo Ramsey,
Dave Moore, all those Iowa City guys. Yeah, so, yeah, Iowa City has a really great roots music scene. At least, I mean, I haven't been back there for a while, but when I was there, that was in the kind of mid to late 90s. I lived there from about 1994 to 2000, or 1999, I guess, and a really great roots music scene there. And I think it's still going strong there. And that was one of the things that helped me kind of figure out. I had some of this Americana background, some of the music I grew up listening to, but that sort of helped me kind of key into some of the key things about that kind of music and what moved me about it. And I'm a big Greg Brown fan, and he's an amazing songwriter. So if I can capture a little bit of what Greg Brown does, I'm happy. If I can get one piece of that in a song, that's great.
Yeah, his daughter too.
Yeah.
Peta.
Yeah, Pieta, I think, yeah. Actually, he has at least 3 daughters, and Pieta, I know she records a lot, but his other 2 daughters are also very talented and perform and sing and everything. So.
Yeah, I think she worked with Bo Ramsey on her recordings. So when you go to you go to a new town, like you're in Iowa, you're in trying to remember where Kansas State is.
Manhattan.
Manhattan, that's right.
Yeah.
I didn't want to say it's like the Jayhawks and
the Wildcats.
The Wildcats, big rivalry there.
Yeah, sure.
I miss the basketball rivalry from that.